Hello and welcome to Cupcake Addiction's Nacho Cupcake tutorial, where I'll be showing you how to make these really cool little nacho cupcakes in disguise. For those of you that follow my channel, MyCupcakeAddiction, Addiction, you'll know that I'm a massive fan of food that looks, I guess, like other food, from popsicle cake pops through to roast chicken dinner cupcakes and everything in between. I love it when what you're eating doesn't look quite like what you think you should be eating. So tools and equipment that we will be using today. I've got some soft jubes. They're going to be to make my little jalapenos. A couple of spoons. I've got some strawberry jam. A little bit of yellow buttercream frosting. I've got some pre-made puff pastry chips and I'll be showing you how to make those. I've got a knife. I've got a fondant rolling pin, but a regular rolling pin will be just fine for this. A cupcake to ice. I'm using just a small round piping tip, and this is just going to be to cut a little bit of a circle. So you don't need to have a piping tip, but just something about that size that's going to cut a small circle for you. I've got a pair of scissors, a Ziploc bag, a little piece of baking paper or wax paper, and then in here I've just got my puff pastry. I leave it wrapped up because it is best to work with quite cold or frozen. So we're going to start off with that today. Now, what you want to do first is you want to take your knife and your puff pastry and that little bit of wax paper. So what I did to make my chips is I just cut, and you can use short crust pastry or any kind of pastry you like, and you just want to cut out just a few little triangle-y sort of shapes. They don't have to be perfect, they don't have to be neat, because they're just designed to look a little bit like nacho chips. So I just cut out a few different sized triangles, different sizes, different shapes. These will puff up, but they shouldn't really stretch or expand sort of sideways. So whatever you cut, whatever shapes you cut, is going to be pretty much what you get out of the oven. Now they're going to go into quite a hot oven as per the baking instructions on your puff pastry. I've just used pre-bought puff pastry. It's the easiest to use. They're only going to take about 5 or 6 minutes to bake, so they're really, really quick. So pop those off into the oven, give them a bake, and when they're ready, they should come out looking like this. So you can see there I've got my completed. We pre-made this just to be a little bit quicker for the tutorial. So what I'm going to do, just so that they're not so thick and fat, is just take my knife and just carefully cut down the middle. So it's easiest if you actually put the point of your knife in the center there and on the other side, and it'll just sort of come apart. They come apart quite easily, but as I mentioned, make sure you've got a couple of spares. So that then makes up 2 of our little chips. Perfect. So now that our little nacho chips are ready, and I've got a few more sitting over here, we want to take our cheese. So we've got our Ziploc bag and yellow frosting. Now I've got a great recipe for some buttercream frosting on my channel, MyCupcakeAddiction. Addiction. Otherwise you can use any frosting you like. So we're just going to spoon some of that into our Ziploc bag. Just make sure that you let any air out of the bag and push it all the way down to one of the corners. And then we're going to take those scissors and just cut off quite a decent little chunk. Now there's no exact size here, so just cut away, I guess, a biggish chunk. Actually, I'm going to take a little bit more than that because I want it to really look like cheese that's kind of been cheese whiz sprayed onto the cupcake or squirted onto the cupcake. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take our cupcake and our Ziploc bag, and I'm just going to kind of just squeeze out and just go around. So it's really quite easy. I'm going to go all the way around the cupcake, making sure that you go all the way to the edges. And then I'm going to come across at the top, and I'm going to do one nice big line of cheese and another nice big line of cheese. And that's pretty much your cheese done. So we'll just have a little tidy up, and then we'll come back and just sort out our jalapenos and finish off our cupcakes. All right, so we've had a little bit of a tidy up. Now what we're going to do is take those soft tubes, and the reason that I bought soft tubes is because I'm actually going to roll them out. So you could use fondant or something like that for this, but I'm just trying to use ingredients for this that most people can find in your supermarkets at home. So we'll just roll it out and give it a little turnover, just makes it a little bit easier to roll. If you love this tutorial and you want to see more in the way of cupcakes and cake pops in disguise, make sure that you head on over to my channel, MyCupcakeAddiction. Addiction. Hit the subscribe button if you like what you see. We upload 3 times a week, and we're always trying to bring you new and interesting ideas of things you can do decorating at home. All right, so it doesn't have to be really, really flat, but I've just rolled it out so that it's, I guess, a little bit pliable or a little bit easy to use. Then I'm going to take my little piping tip or your little circle cutter, and I'm just going to cut just a couple little circles out of it. Beautiful. Now using your scissors, you just want to cut around those circles and just fashion them into sort of little I guess, little rings, and that's going to be to look like our jalapenos. All right, so just 3 or 4 of those is fine. Now, to put all this together, it is really easy. We're just going to pick some of the chips that we like the look of, and I just slid them in sort of on a bit of an angle. You can push them right into the cupcake, and I like to put kind of 3 or 4 around the edges there. So just sticking them in, and that kind of, like, I guess, forms a little bit of a nest. Then you want to take your teaspoon and just that strawberry jam, give it a little stir so it's nice and fluid, and you're just going to drizzle it. Don't use raspberry jam, it doesn't look quite as good. Strawberry jam's nice and chunky and it gives you that really nice sort of salsa-y look. And just put a blob on top. Don't put too much of the jam because it will actually drizzle down a little bit, as you can see with these display ones up here. So just put about a teaspoon or so on there and it will drizzle down, but you don't want it to be a big sticky mess as you're trying to transport them. And then to finish it off, we're just going to take our little jalapenos and just stick them in. Look at that. Super quick, really easy, really effective, and who's going to even know that it's a cupcake? I absolutely love this idea. I think it's really cute. I love cupcakes in disguise, and I hope that you guys enjoy this cupcake as much as I enjoyed making it today. Thanks very much for watching.